The new Entrepreneur Show is sponsored by Statewide Insurers Group. As an independent agency, we can shop your insurance needs for the best coverage and the best value. Also sponsored by the Small Business Centers of Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson Community Colleges, as well as the Eastern North Carolina Center for Business and Entrepreneurship.
Here with Melanie Diehl, Internet Marketing Specialist. Plethora of good information about marketing online using social media, email, Google, probably lots of other things that I don't even know about. Twitter, Vine, I don't know. The internet's a big place with lots of stuff on it. But anyway, she's here. We're going to learn a little bit about her, a little bit about social media marketing and online marketing. Welcome to the show, Melanie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We were talking a little before you became an internet marketing specialist and started teaching entrepreneurs how the heck to use the social media to increase our business.
Right.
And get the word out. Before that, you were a business person yourself. You are an entrepreneur.
I am an entrepreneur, yes. Yes. So I've been in business for 31 years, and it surprises some people when I say that.
That's a wow.
So I kind of got into the business when I lost my corporate job.
All right.
So I'd been there for 5 years, and they decided to close our local office. So I didn't know what to do.
That's terrifying.
It was. So I didn't know what I was going to do, and I decided I had a skill and I had a sewing machine, so I decided to open up my own little sewing gig. And
Oh, wow.
I made interior soft goods for 25 years.
Wow. So now that's a very neat package. Out of a job, open a business.
Yes.
How did you get from one to the other? Did you they closed your office, you said, hey, grab my sewing machine, baby, I'm in business now? Or was there a process there, or did you just dive in?
I just dove in, which was not my personality to do that, but I didn't know what to do, and I didn't really have the desire to have a job anymore and work for the man. So, and I didn't come from necessarily a family of entrepreneurs, but I had a skill and I had the equipment, so I decided that I would give it a shot. And some of my friends were supportive of me, and they let me use them as beta testers.
Nice.
For my new business, and it was very successful. And I did that for 25 years.
25 years.
Yes.
So no business experience. I'm guessing you didn't have a well thought out, organized, written business plan.
I didn't know what a business plan was.
You just pulled out your sewing machine, said, hey, I don't want a job, I want to be the job, and you started sewing. And how did you get your clients?
Word of mouth. So this is back in the day before the internet, right? So there was yellow pages, and there were the bulletin boards at coffee shops,
and
the little papers where you could have the poster with the pull-off strips where you could have your information. But primarily it was through my network. Before I even knew what networking was, but it was word of mouth. It was primarily people that I had done work for before, and one thing led to another, and it just really expanded and grew beyond belief. So during that time, during those 25 years, I was also raising a family and supporting my husband with his full-time job, and he had a side gig that I was helping him with as well.
Busy woman.
Yeah, I was busy, and I was volunteering at school and my church and doing all the things, and I was just I liked to keep busy.
Evidently.
Yeah. So eventually we moved out of state, and we started a business, my husband and I did. Still sewing all along, so we ran this company for about 6 years, and we sold that off to a key employee and moved back to North Carolina, which is home for me. And by this time it was around 2006, 2007, and I was getting a little bit tired of sewing, and I decided I was going to get back into the workforce and get a job, a real job. But it was 2008, so jobs were hard to come by. So at this point, I decided that I was just going to volunteer instead. So I found the local Chamber of Commerce, and I started volunteering with them and working with their members. And at the same time, I was starting to see, social media was coming around, Facebook was becoming very popular, and I was starting to see businesses using social media to market their business, which was so different from anything I had done in the past 25 years.
Oh, yeah, that was brand new then.
It was brand new, and it was so interesting, and I was fascinated by this. Websites were coming along, and there was a little bit of internet marketing, but not social media for businesses. That was so different from anything that I had known. So I made it my business to find out everything I could. And before we knew it, at the Chamber of Commerce, the business owners were coming to me and they were saying, Melanie, can you get me on Facebook? And I said, sure. So we gathered a bunch of business owners and we went to town hall and I got on their overhead projector. Everybody brought their laptops and I showed the business owners how to open up a business page and optimize their business page and not be afraid of this new method of marketing. And that's how what I do now became what I do now. And that was 11 years ago.
That's crazy. So how long were you doing the sewing gig?
I did the sewing gig for 25 years.
25 years sewing.
Yes.
Then you jumped out, worked for the Chamber of Commerce for a couple of years?
A couple of years. I was still running the sewing business.
Oh, wow. Are you still running it today?
No, I quit finally.
Okay. So then you do the training at the Chamber of Commerce, and that was free. That was just you helping people out.
Exactly, as a volunteer.
How did you segue that into doing it for a living, becoming a professional educator?
Exactly. That's really great. So a friend of mine, we were accountability partners at the time. He was in real estate. And I was doing this, and I was doing it for free or very low cost. And he kind of pushed me off into the deep end. He said, Melanie, people get paid to do this. You have to stop doing this for free because people don't value it when you do it for free or at a very low price. And I knew that he was right because I'd been in business for years already. So I had to sink or swim because he shoved me into the deep end and I was not going to sink, so I swam. And it just grew into what it is today, where I have a small marketing agency and a team of experts, and we help business owners all over the place.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So in your pattern, everybody's got a pattern in their lives, it seems like, in business. Your pattern sort of seems to be you get in a position where you get shoved and then you excel. You had a corporate job, you're safe, happy, punch the time clock, be a good employee, lady. They close the business, you're like, okay, time to start a business. I'll run it for 2.5 decades or so. Sounds fun. And then the same thing here. You're giving away the information for free, and your friend says, it's probably time to make this into a job, make this into a business. And he shoved you, and you let yourself be shoved, and now it's a whole new chapter.
I never really considered that until just now. You're right.
I'm smarter than I look.
That's really a big thing. That's an epiphany, if you will. I never realized that it was when I was being shoved that I actually made that jump to the next level. So that's really eye-opening for me.
Lots of people have that. That's the growth pattern for lots of people.
Yeah.
Is they get in a comfort zone, and as long as you're comfortable, there's no need to change.
Exactly.
And you're the frog in that water, but if the temperature changes fast enough, it makes you jump. My pattern's a little different and strange. I just jump. Sometimes it works out well. I don't plan stuff out real well, but it sounds like you've got a real good mix of planning, having a skill set, and then when the rug gets pulled out from under you, you just skate. And that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So that's impressive. There's lots of different styles of business. For those of you who are maybe waiting on the sidelines, thinking about opening your own business, thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, thinking about not working for the man, as Melanie says, find out what it is that pushes you, what will get you to the next level. And sometimes you just have to jump.
Yes.
You get people to push you, or you get businesses to close to push you. But prepare. We talked about that earlier with Kevin from Lorema, who took years to prepare to open a coffee shop. But sometimes you get paralysis of analysis. You spend so long trying to analyze a situation that you never ever make the jump. So there's there's a virtue in action. Action is its own virtue.
Absolutely. My mentor says done is better than perfect, and I absolutely agree with that, because if we keep waiting for something to be perfect, the time to be perfect, the money to be perfect, all of the stars to align in a certain order, for all of the perfection, it's never going to happen. We just have to do the things and perfect it as we go on.
Yeah, it's the old ready, fire, aim thing, where you can take and keep working on your aim and getting that perfect for hours or days or weeks or forever. My theory has always been just shoot and then correct after you shoot. And there's danger in taking that too far. But I'd rather take a swing and miss than never swing.
Yes.
And in a world where 76% of Americans age 18 to 24, according to a recent Gallup poll, I talk about this all the time, Gallup said 76% of those people say they want to open a business someday and own a business of their own.
Wow.
In a world where over 3 out of 4 of us want to, and less than 1 out of 10 of us do, I'd rather take a swing. And that's sort of what this show is all about. So you've got this business now, teaching business people, entrepreneurs, would-be entrepreneurs, how to use So Successful to get the word out. How do you get the word out about the services you offer and the things you can provide to entrepreneurs, besides being on the New Entrepreneur Show?
Right. Exactly. I practice what I preach. I utilize my social media platforms. I utilize my website. I utilize my email marketing list. I network with people. I take opportunities whenever an opportunity becomes available. I almost always say yes. If can make it happen, I will make it happen. The more exposure and the greater our network that we build, the more opportunities will come to us.
Yep.
The more we say yes, the more things come back to us to give us more opportunities to say yes down the road. So it's really important that we have that mission very clear in our heads, knowing what it is that we hope to achieve. I participate in professional development. I have a business coach. I invest in my own business, and I think that if you think about professional sports athletes, right? They never say, "Oh, I'm so good at football now that I don't need a coach anymore."
That's right.
So we all, as business owners, need to have that same mentality. We can always improve on our skills, and we can always learn more. So by doing those things, I'm always trying to improve. And I also have a really great team, and I'm very selective about who is on my team, because I believe that they're not employees, they're 1099 contractors, but they still reflect who my business is.
Of course.
And we're only as good as the people who are on our team.
Anybody watching the show can see Melanie's success is due in large part to energy level and enthusiasm and positivity. You're certainly intelligent and you've learned your stuff, but that positivity, energy, and enthusiasm will take you a long way in entrepreneurship, and I think you exemplify that.
Oh, thank you.
It shows in everything you do. People want to be near positive people.
Yes.
People want to learn from positive people. Energy attracts energy. So I think that's wonderful. And it's why one of the reasons I've enjoyed your classes when I've gone to them.
Thank you.
It's a little dead to start with. You're there revving them up, and eventually people get into it. So we've got these classes. Now you have classes all over North Carolina, all over the East Coast, all over the world.
All over the East Coast.
Really?
Yes. I have taught all up and down the Eastern Coast. And I've taught for a lot of different organizations. I spent a time as a professional trainer for Google My Business for a little while.
Nice.
I got to do a lot of traveling with that, but I had some traveling didn't fit into my family time, so I decided to shorten the travel distance that I work. But I love teaching. People say to me, "Melanie, aren't you afraid you're going to teach them everything you know?" And I say, there's no way I can teach them everything I know. I can tell you all the bits of all the different ingredients that are in the secret sauce, but I don't have to tell you exactly how much of each ingredient goes into the secret sauce to have my recipe for success. And my recipe for success doesn't necessarily mean it's your recipe for
That's right.
successes either. So just because but I can always give you good advice and guidance and best practices, friends in the industry, and that's where my professional development really kicks in, because I make sure that I know the latest and greatest. And trust me, it's social media. It changes all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and in the beginning, you were totally self-taught.
Yes,
You learned a little bit about Facebook and started teaching people, so you have been learning as you've been teaching.
Exactly.
You are now, like the old middle school thing, greater than and less than. You're now greater than you were 10 years ago at this.
Absolutely, I am.
And so keeping up with you would mean putting full time in. One more quick question, then we've got to move to the break. And I think this is an interesting one. What's your favorite thing about working with entrepreneurs and teaching them?
Oh, my favorite thing about it is the light bulb moments. Seeing what really makes an impact on them. I can be in a room full of, 35 business owners, and we're all learning the same skill or talking about the same skill. But when I can say just one thing that might seem old hat to me because I've been doing it for a while, but all of a sudden someone's eyes get wide and their head pops up and something has clicked with them and it's made a difference to them, and that is my favorite part of working with small business owners and training them.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if you go to one of Melanie's classes, and I highly recommend you do, even though whatever she's teaching you, she's taught literally hundreds of times to thousands or tens of thousands of people. Like a great musician, when she's on stage playing that song for you, she puts it all out there. It's like the first time. I've been to Jimmy Buffett concerts. Buffett has sang Margaritaville probably 100,000 times. He may be sick of singing that song, but when you go there and you see him in concert, he plays it for you like it's a thrill for him, like it's the first time he ever played it.
Yes.
The best teachers and public speakers do the same thing. Melanie certainly does. We're going to get into some more things, some of the details of what Melanie teaches and where she's teaching, and some helpful hints. But first, we've got to take a little break. We'll see you on the other side.
The new Entrepreneur Show is sponsored by Statewide Insurers Group. As an independent agency, we can shop your insurance needs for the best coverage and the best value. Also sponsored by the Small Business Centers of Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson Community Colleges, as well as the Eastern North Carolina Center for Business and Entrepreneurship.
Small Shops Marketplace is in the business of helping you go into business for yourself. Anyone with a dream and a product to sell can open a retail store here at Small Shops Marketplace. We're open 7 days a week with staff to assist your customers. Join dozens of your neighbors and try your hand at business ownership here at Small Shops Marketplace, located in the Inglewood Square Shopping Center at 2916 Sunset Avenue in the former Steinmart location. Okay, welcome back. Still here with Melanie Diehl, Internet Marketing Specialist. I keep wanting to say guru. Now, we've said specialist a bunch of times. We've talked about your story, Melanie. I know some of the things you teach because I've attended some of your courses. I've never failed to learn things. Interesting thing with a good teacher is you not only learn the things they're teaching you, but sometimes they get your mind on a track you weren't on, and you think of something not really related to what they taught you. I've learned things from Melanie that she hasn't taught me because she gets my brain thinking in a different direction. You go from that. But what are some of the courses that you teach? Some of the things you can bring to people who are either in business or would love to be?
Right. So I teach a lot of social media marketing courses, obviously. How to get your business online with Google is another popular class that I teach a lot, and that is really important.
No question.
A lot of people don't understand the importance of getting their business on Google, and it's free. So y'all need to get your business on Google. It's free. How to market your business, how to build a website, the importance of building a website, what you need to include in having an online presence for your website. And email marketing is the third one that I teach that is very popular, and email marketing happens to be my passion. That's actually how I got into the big teaching arena. So I associated myself with a specific email service provider, and they had a really great education component, and utilizing their education component and their training that they had available for their certain partners, I was able to get out into the field and reach a lot more business owners. So email marketing is kind of my passion.
When's your next email marketing class? That's the one I haven't attended.
That's $1 million question. Things are kind of crazy right now, right? So we're not really having a lot of in-person seminars because As we're taping this, we're still in this lockdown, this shutdown, shelter-in-place order. So things are really up in the air right now. Some of the community colleges and small business centers that I work with have moved their sessions online, and they're using webinars, but not everyone is doing that. A lot of them are on hold until we kind of see how this thing all shakes out. But I am doing some online with private clients, so there's that opportunity. But as far as in-person events, we don't really know when that's going to happen again. So unfortunately, because being online is great, right? Having a webinar is wonderful, but you and I were talking earlier about the energy level that is when you're in a room in front of an audience of live people. You get energy from them, and you give energy to them, and there's a lot of interaction and feedback that goes back and forth between the presenter and the audience. So there's something that is amiss when you're doing an online webinar type thing. However, using Zoom is a really great option because you can still get a certain amount of feedback from people, right? So it is a good alternate solution for right now. I wish I could say I knew when the next in-person email marketing class was going to take place. I am teaching email marketing for North Carolina State University next Monday online.
Is that something you have to be a full-time student to attend? Or
you do not. It's through the Office of Professional Development, through the Technology Training Solutions Center, and it's part of their digital marketing certification program. So you complete a certain number of courses or classes within this whole course, and you can have a digital marketing certificate from the NC State University.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, this is the first time that we're running email marketing through it. We're going to run it again in August, and hopefully that one will be live.
I love live so much better.
I do too. It's so much better.
My problem now, public speaking, I like the crowd. You can hear, you can feel, you can see when you're really getting to them, and you can see when they're starting to drift off, and you know it's time to move.
Yes.
And you can pick. I'm not at your level. I don't do it professionally, but I've done some. But the other side is also true. For me, I love the idea of webinars.
Yes.
But there's so many distractions.
Exactly.
Whereas if I'm sitting in a hard chair here at Wesleyan or over at Ben Braddock's lovely Station Square facility, I love that place, or anywhere, over at Nash Community College or wherever, I'm sitting in that chair, I've got the speaker up there, I'm watching, I've got to pay attention, there's nothing else going on around me. I'm not going to have my secretary saying, Fred, I'm not going to have my kids, nothing.
Right.
It's so much harder for me to pay attention and really give something my all when it's on the screen. So much harder.
It is. It is a little bit harder, and we were talking a little bit about this earlier today, that a lot of businesses right now are trying to figure out how to pivot and how to take their in-person, face-to-face type business and turn it to an online or remote type business model. And a lot of people are doing online courses, and there's a huge component that you need to consider if you are going to pivot your business and go online and maybe deliver courses. Part of that is video, but you have to be cognizant of exactly what you just said. So if you are creating video as part of your online course, keep it in bite-sized pieces that people can consume quickly, rather than having an hour-long webinar or an hour-long video that they have to consume, because people will get distracted and they get fatigued from looking at the computer screen for that long as well. So there are a lot of things that we have to keep in mind when it comes to video recorded versus in-person and face-to-face.
I can imagine. Do you have any other online courses coming up that are suitable for the viewing public, the folks out there watching the New Entrepreneur Show?
I do. I have recently launched my Email Marketing Academy.
Oh, wow.
That is available for business owners, whether they're just getting started or they're already experienced in email marketing. It's really great for VAs, which are virtual assistants, who are looking to expand their skill base as well. So that's a course that I have recently launched and am currently growing that. So I'm very excited about Email Marketing Academy.
How can we sign up for Email Marketing Academy if we wanted to do it?
So you would go to emailcourse.learnwithmelanie.com.
Emailcourse.learnwithmelanie.com.
Yes. Yes.
And how expensive is it?
$97.
$97?
Yes.
That's like taking the family out to dinner.
I know.
That's pretty good.
This is actually a course that I took from an in-person, face-to-face course, and it was over a period of a month. We would meet every Monday for an hour and a half. So it's not an hour and a half long now. I've broken it down into bite-sized pieces, like I said, for people who now they can take it anywhere, because I was working with people that were local, and there were people that were not local that wanted it. So I decided to take it from what was a local-based service course and turn it online.
Nice. I've been thinking about something similar.
Yeah.
So I can give me that website one more time.
Email course.
.learn
with Melanie.
.learn with Melanie. MELANIE.
.com.
Okay, cool. I highly recommend that one. I'm going to sign up for this course because I don't use email marketing enough, to be quite frank. I encourage everybody out there not only to take advantage of any courses Melanie's offering in the area when they're doing it again, but everything that's offered through the SBCs in your area. The Small Business Center is such a great thing. The Center for Entrepreneurship at Wesleyan, they have some beautiful courses there.
Yes.
And the ladies who run the local SBCs and Gina, who runs the Center for Entrepreneurship, very knowledgeable, very eager to help you. Any questions you have about anything going on, whether it's the SBA stuff going on now, or how to pivot your business, and the two ways to do that are either move your business, change it to something that works better not in person, or open a side hustle that makes money a different way.
Yeah.
As always, work at improving the business you have if you have one, and if you're not in the arena yet, we're at a bizarre, unprecedented time. That means there are bizarre, unprecedented opportunities. This is absolutely the right time to start a new business. People are off center. Everything's changed. People are looking for new things. People are looking for new suppliers, new things to do, new ways to do things. And this is a time, if you're waiting for the right time to start a business, this is that time.
This is the time.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the New Entrepreneur Show.
The New Entrepreneur Show is sponsored by Statewide Insurers Group. As an independent agency, we can shop your insurance needs for the best coverage and the best value. Also sponsored by the Small Business Centers of Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson Community Colleges, as well as the Eastern North Carolina Center for Business and Entrepreneurship.
Small Shops Marketplace is in the business of helping you go into business for yourself. Anyone with a dream and a product to sell can open a retail store here at Small Shops Marketplace. We're open 7 days a week with staff to assist your customers. Join dozens of your neighbors and try your hand at business ownership here at Small Shops Marketplace, located in the Inglewood Square Shopping Center at 2916 Sunset Avenue in the former Steinmart location.